So hey everyone, Blood Moon Bobby here, finally back here on my usual film set, here to talk about the OLED Nintendo Switch. How do I personally feel about it? I'm feeling kinda conflicted. Let's talk about this. So, as rumors suggested, there's an upcoming Nintendo Switch system with an OLED screen, and Nintendo has announced it. Except this is not a successor to the current Nintendo Switch, as some rumors may have suggested, and it's not a Nintendo Switch Pro. It's another iteration of the current Nintendo Switch, much like how they've had the Switch Lite, and then there was the Switch with the improved battery life. So, what's new in the OLED Nintendo Switch? Well, as Nintendo is advertising, it has an OLED screen. So it is a 7-inch OLED screen with thinner bezels than the current Switch, and it's at the same resolution as the current system, 1280 by 720, 720p. It's got a wider adjustable kickstand, kind of reminds me of the one that Microsoft Surface tablets use. And there's also a LAN port in the dock for online gaming. They doubled the amount of storage. There's now 64 gigabytes of storage. There's enhanced audio. The OLED Nintendo Switch will cost $350. If you want to get that down to the penny, it's $349.99, and it comes out on October 8th. And the reason I say that I'm conflicted about this OLED Nintendo Switch is, on the one hand, this actually sounds like a pretty decent system. If the Switch is going to be going on for a long time, and I was looking to upgrade my current Switch to a new iteration, this one actually looks pretty promising. I like the idea of having a bigger screen with thinner bezels. I'm not one of those people that like freaks out when I see like screen bezel or things like that, but it is a welcome feature. And OLED technology, I do like the OLED screens on my iPhone 12 mini, and also my PlayStation Vita, and also, actually, interestingly enough, the camera that I'm shooting with, this Nikon Z6, its electronic viewfinder is OLED. So it is a really promising technology, capable of great contrast, deep black levels, and often vibrant colors like the ones I see on the display of the PlayStation Vita. So the idea of playing a lot of Switch games on an OLED screen, like thinking of like the Ninja Gaiden trilogy that just came out for the Switch, as well as all the Mario games or Zelda Breath of the Wild, sounds like it would run and look pretty good on this OLED Nintendo Switch. So I do like the idea of adding this screen technology. Hopefully, it's not going to have some of the disadvantages of some of the OG PlayStation Vitas. I've heard some reports that some of the original Vitas had like blotchiness in the screen, and unfortunately, mine, it has it to where it's not that you see it most of the time. It's mostly when the screen turns black, you can see like blotchy pixels. So hopefully this new Switch isn't going to have those problems. I really hope not. It's also nice that they doubled the storage from 32 to 64 gigabytes. Still not a ton of storage, but then again, flash memory, so that's something to take into consideration. So, but it is nice that 64 gigabytes is more of a head start than the current Nintendo Switch, although if you plan to download most of your games, I'd recommend picking up a micro SD card along with the system. I do like that the kickstand is wider. I hope it's more durable than the current Switch, because the current Switch's kickstand could get kind of flimsy. There's times where I'll try to set down my Switch if I'm playing in tabletop mode and the kickstand pops off. Not all the time, but I hope this new wider kickstand is more durable. I like how it looks similar to the Microsoft Surface tablet's kickstand. I also like how it's more adjustable. And the fact that there is an Ethernet port in the new Switch, in the OLED Switch's dock, should mean that online matches will be more stable, whether you're playing like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Splatoon 2 or games like that. So on its own, I'd say the OLED Nintendo Switch sounded really promising. Like I said, if I was looking to upgrade my Nintendo Switch, or even if I was a first timer or coming into the Nintendo Switch family, I wouldn't. It sounds like a pretty promising system. I'd be, looking forward to the pre-orders. Hopefully, it doesn't sell out like crazy, like the current gen systems, like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So on its own, it does sound nice. what makes me feel kind of conflicted and why I'm not exactly jumping up and down is kind of the timing of the release of the OLED Switch, especially at this point in the current Nintendo Switch's life. It's on its fourth or fifth year. If you're counting, it's now 2021, and the original Switch came out in 2017. So usually the fourth or fifth year of a Nintendo console is usually when fans and Nintendo customers start to contemplate, at least the ones who really follow the industry, really start to think about and speculate when a new Nintendo console is coming out. What's the successor going to be like? And that was why there were so many rumors about what is a future Nintendo Switch successor is going to be like. There were all these rumors saying that there were all these rumors saying that a Switch Pro was going to have an OLED screen. It's just that it turns out, at least as of now, that OLED Switch is not a Switch successor. It's an addition to the current Switch lineup. So usually around the fourth or fifth year of a Nintendo system's life is usually when people start to speculate when is a successor going to come out, because usually a successor to a current Nintendo system usually comes out between 4 to 7 years after the current Nintendo system came out. So what makes this kind of concerning for me is just the really big question mark of, is Nintendo going to come out with a successor system to the Switch? Now, as of right now, of course, Nintendo isn't confirming anything. They haven't said that a new Switch system is on the way. It's just that the big question I have is a big question of when are they going to announce it? Is it going to be a year or two from now? Especially now that Nintendo's competitors, Sony and Microsoft, have come out with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. And even though, yes, those systems are really difficult to find, I still haven't found one, and I want a PS5 myself, especially since my sister could play Demon's Souls. What makes this kind of concerning for me is the real big question mark of when is Nintendo going to come out with a Switch successor, especially since right around now, the fourth year of the Switch's life cycle is usually when there starts to be speculation for a Nintendo Switch Pro. Now, am I saying that it's going to be released next year or even 2 years from now? Who knows? It's just that sort of ambiguity makes it kind of concerning for me. And that's one of the reasons why I'm personally not planning to upgrade my Nintendo Switch as of right now to this OLED model. Even though this OLED system does sound really cool, I'm just not really sure, especially at that free $49.99, $350 price point, because that's like new console money to me. I know that the Nintendo DSi was about $40 more than the DS Lite when that system was released, but $350 is like what I'm expecting a successor system to the Switch to cost. So that's kind of why I'm feeling really conflicted, mostly because of the timing of the announcement and when Nintendo is planning to release this OLED Switch. I mean, even though the OLED Switch does sound pretty cool to me, I'm kind of uncertain about picking it up because I'm not sure it's going to be a system that I'm going to be carrying around for the next 4 to 5 years. So those are my thoughts on the OLED Switch. Again, it's not that I'm saying that I think it's going to be a bad system. It's just that the timing is kind of questionable to me. And I want to hear your thoughts down below. What do you personally think? Are you interested in the OLED Nintendo Switch? Do you have your concerns? Are you considering picking one up? If you are, I just hope that it won't be too difficult to find one, because it's really difficult to find systems like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X right now. Leave all your thoughts down below, and until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.